Okay, so in the previous lecture we discussed on the primary nucleotide sequence database. In this lecture we will discuss on primary protein sequence databases. We have three major primary protein sequence databases. First is Protein Information Resource, that is PIR PSD. Second is SwissProt, and third is TREMBL. Now all the three databases, that is SwissProt, PIR and TREMBL, are clustered, or we can say are merged into a single repository or single database, that is UniProt. So Protein Information Resource is the superfamily based classification database which is functionally annotated and expertly curated protein database. So what is the meaning of annotated? Annotated means the additional information which help us in analyzing, which help us in knowing the protein better. And curated means it is expertly curated, means it is manually curated, means researchers have seen it, have analyzed it, have tested it, the data, and read it, the data, then they store the data in the PIR PSD, means it is manually curated, not computationally curated. So we can rely on the information available in the Protein Information Resource database. Superfamily means it is similar to the pedigree, like we have grandfather, then we have father, then we have son. So this pedigree will be evolutionary conserved, will show similar function. So one of the example is G protein couple receptor. So G protein couple receptor is a superfamily and it has several higher families, and one of the higher family is rhodopsin like GPCR. Then the rhodopsin like GPCR have several families, and one of the families opsin family, which is responsible in detection of color. And the opsin family have members, and blue sensitive opsin is one of the member, which is one of the protein. So blue sensitive opsin protein comes in the opsin family. Opsin family comes in the rhodopsin like GPCR higher family, and rhodopsin like GPCR comes in the G protein coupled receptor superfamily. SwissProt. So SwissProt is also curated protein sequence database, which means it is also manually curated, have highly annotated, which means it have large additional information, and have show minimum level of redundancy, means it is updated regularly. So the non-useful information is removed on the regular basis. So the level of redundancy is minimum. TREMBL. It is computationally annotated protein. Earlier we see both the databases are manually annotated, but the TREMBL is computationally annotated. Computationally annotated database. So it includes the coding sequence which are not present in the SwissProt. So it's mean that we have several protein sequence. Some will be available in the SwissProt which are manually curated. Some which are not manually curated are then computationally curated and stored in the TREMBL. UniProt. We know that UniProt is a database which combine all the three databases. So the UniProt had three sub databases. The first is UniProt knowledge base. The UniProt knowledge base has two databases. One is the SwissProt, which is manually curated database, and second is TREMBL, which is computationally curated database. Second is the UniProt archive subdatabase. It contains all the protein sequence which are available in publicly. Means it will have all the protein which are manually curated, which are automatically curated, and which are not curated at all. So it will have all the protein sequences which are publicly available. The third database is the UniProt reference cluster, or UniRef. It contains all the information which are not present in the UniProt knowledge base and the UniProt archive. So now we will visit each database. So now first we will visit the PIR PSD database. So this is the home page of the PIR database, and we can see that the final release of the database is the 31st December 2004, as it is now joined the UniProt. So if we click on the UniProt, it will direct us directly to the UniProt. So this is the PIR database, and all the information is now available in the UniProt database. Now we will visit the second database, that is the SwissProt database. So this is the web page of SwissProt database. We can see that SwissProt is now within the sub database of UniProt KB, and this is the web page, and these are the additional tools which can be used for our analysis according to our need. So this is the UniProt. Also this is the SwissProt. We join the UniProt KB sub database. Now we will visit the third database, that is TREMBL database. So here is the information. Here is the information of TREMBL, and the release was it is part of the UniProt, so it is showing the URL of UniProt. We will click on it. We will direct it to the directly direct it to the UniProt. So now we will visit the UniProt database. So this is the web page of UniProt database. Here we have the UniProt KB database, subdatabase, which having the information of SwissProt and TREMBL. We can see that SwissProt is manually annotated and reviewed, whereas TREMBL is automatically, means the computationally annotated and not reviewed. Here is the UniRef subdatabase, which is provide the information, additional information additional information of UniProt KB and UniProt archive. This is the UniProt archive, which have all the publicly available protein sequences. And here is the proteome information. So this is how web page of UniProt looks like. Here are the tools which we can use, like BLAST for sequence searching tool, and alignment, like you can use sequence alignment which uses cluster omega. Now we will search for a protein which is kinase protein, which we have used in the previous lecture. So we will take the assertion number of the kinase gene and we will try to find out the protein information in the UniProt database. So let's search for the NCBI GenBank. We will search for kinase and we will take the assertion number and we will paste it in the UniProt, and we are finding it in UniProt KB. You can select in UniProt KB or UniRef or UniProt archive or Proteome. So we are searching in the UniProt KB subdatabase. Okay, so here is the we get, after searching, we get the information of the kinase protein. So we can see that the entry kinase protein, the ID of this kinase protein for the UniProt, this is the name of the protein. The sign means it is the reviewed and it is annotated manually, so we can rely on this information. Then the length of the protein, the organism, and the gene name. Now we will see what the information are available. So this is how the web page of the kinase protein information looks like. So we will see one by one. Let's start from the beginning. So this is the protein name, this is the gene name, the status is reviewed, which means it is annotated, and here is the function of the protein. The function of the protein is coming from the two publication. It is supported by the publication. So here is the name of the paper and a link of the publication. The catalytic activity of the protein, the binding site and the active site of the protein is given, that on the position 553 it binds with the ATP and the active site is at 647. Then the nucleotide binding region, it starts from 531 and ends at 539 position for the ATP. Then here is the molecular function, then the biological function the kinase protein plays. Then here is the enzyme and pathway database information. Here are the IDs. Then the protein name, the gene name, the organism name. It is again the information which we have seen above. Then here is the subcellular localization. We can see that where kinase protein is available. We can see it plays a role in spindle and nucleus, cytoplasm, kinetochore membrane. So this is the subcellular localization of the kinase protein. Then the mutation information, that if the mutation happens at 664, then the loss of kinase activity is seen. It is supported by the publication. Similarly, at the position 686, if mutation happens, then again the loss of kinase activity is seen and it is supported by the one publication. Then the chemistry database, which is basically the drug database information. Then here are the IDs of the particular drug which is responsible for the inhibition of the kinase protein. Then the genetic variation information. Then the modification information is given. If the modification happen at the different position, then what happens at the position. If the modification happen at the particular position, then what is the effect is given in the description. Then we have proteomic databases. Other information, we have the expression data, we have interaction data, we have the isoform data. Isoforms means the protein having the different sequence but showing the similar function. So here is the information of the kinase isoforms. Then the structure of the kinase protein and the ID, PDB ID of the kinase protein is also given. Then we have family and domain information that from 525 to 791 position it shows the protein kinase. The domain is of protein kinase. So in the whole protein, the position from 525 to 791 is the domain which actually perform the kinase activity. Then we have the phylogenetic information. Then we have the sequence. This is the complete sequence of the kinase protein. This is the sequence database information. Which sequence database information? We have the genome annotation database. We have the similar protein information, that the protein ID P33981 is 100% identical with the kinase protein. Then here is the cross-reference information. So this is the information and the other information also which is available in the UniProt database. So UniProt database is formed by the merging of the three databases, that is the PIR PhD database, SwissProt database and TR-EMBL database. In the next lecture, we will deep dive into the secondary nucleotide sequence database.